Oh.
Yeah, so scan each one. You see Alvin's photos there and my photos on the other side? Yeah.
Oh,
So that QR code leads to our Instagram. And if you haven't followed us, go follow. Yeah. Is it the right QR code?
Skip this advertising.
Be careful. Some QR codes go straight to your bank account and then they just sign you up for something. Yeah. Let me try it out.
I don't know. There's an advertisement.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. Oh, there's an ad. Okay, don't buy the cruise. It's not affiliated with us. We don't get anything from that. Okay.
Give you guys.
Yeah, sure.
So thanks for coming, everyone. This morning we have Ralph and Alvin. So they've been doing this for a little while now. I think Ralph started out as like a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he still does weddings, but then he started shooting a lot of real estate. He's done some for Jimmy and Jenkins. Myself, I use him a lot for my listings. It's very good if you have like a vacant unit, they can also work staging. And then Ralph partnered with Alvin to do this velo or video kind of vlogs. Yeah. So they're essentially content social media company that they help you create content, so shoot it for you, edit for you, give you ideas on how to improve your online presence and your branding. So this is what we're here for today, to enhance our business through social media and digital marketing. So Ralph, Alvin, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Wow. We never got a clap before. This is very nice. It's a very nice office you guys have here today. And again, thank you for having us. Today's training is basically, you know, in today's day and age, it's ever evolving, right? We have a lot of tools that we can use to market ourselves, but at the same time, not a lot of people are able to utilize it. We see on social media, we see on the news, there's AI technologies such as ChatGPT, but people try, but they get frustrated, right? So sometimes we need those different directions, right? This is a different avenue for you guys to market yourself, because some of you guys have been seasoned realtors already. You guys are very successful. Some of you guys are top producers as well. And those things have been working for you so far, right? But it doesn't mean that you could grow more. So this is another avenue to do that, okay? So
yeah, so who here is actively posting on Instagram right now? One person? Got a few, okay. All right, so what we do is we basically teach you guys that if you guys are not on Instagram or any social media platform, you guys are leaving a lot more money on the table, right? So the reason why we built this company that we have now is we believe that videos lead to opportunities, right? So that's why we created like the movement called the Velo, because every single time we post a video on Instagram or any social media platform, somehow it led to more opportunities for us. It doesn't matter how good you are as a real estate agent. If nobody knows about it, you're just literally like leaving money on the table. Most people believe that, hey, no, I have a strong referral based business where, yeah, all my friends and family that I sold from before will always gonna be my clients. But somebody who's more hungrier than you, who's more younger and on social media, they may even get the fact that they will maybe steal your clients without you even knowing. Not to steal, but more like if they get more attention more than you, because they forget that you're still a real estate agent, you may lose them as a client, right? So basically for us, it's all about documentation versus creation. So the key here is to make sure that you're documenting your life over just focusing on creating content, okay? So he's gonna talk about his story.
yeah, so really great introduction from Michael, what we do, but we're gonna go back a little bit to what we do ourselves, right? And where we came from, because this is very important to the content creation versus and also the documenting. Okay. So I want you guys to focus on this because a lot of these things in this world pretty much rely on videos, right? So gonna give you guys an example in Super Bowl, right? When Super Bowl comes on, not a lot of people really pay attention to the football unless you're a football fan. But there's these things that they call commercials that people tune into. And sometimes there's those commercials where they kind of break the Guinness Book of World of Records to the most amount of views, right? Because they want to put out the best commercial out there, right? But it's not even about football anymore. It's just a commercial, right? So there's that opportunity for those videos to come in where you can incorporate that into yourselves as a personal brand and marketing. So a little bit about me. This is my background. I used to be a nurse. I used to work at Toronto General Hospital. And I came into this business because I had a passion for holding a camera. Okay, I documented my last day of work when I went into my manager's office and I said, I'm quitting my career. Like, that's it. I'm not gonna be a nurse anymore and I'm gonna dive into this business full time. And this happened last year. Okay, I just started out pretty much last year doing this full time and jumping that leap of faith, you know, trying to get into a different zone of that level of uncomfortable, right? Being uncomfortable pretty much. Okay, so this is me now doing this full time. Never did I ever imagine that I'll be talking to in front of people doing this. Okay, so this is something that I documented in my journey, and that's when I started out because I felt that that's very important. Okay, so that's my backstory. This is Alvin. He is from Manitoba. He came here about 2 years ago. Yeah. And this is his documentation about moving here from a different province, right? He literally he didn't know anybody here. No Rolodex of people, like no connections whatsoever. So this is him and his wife moving from Manitoba, living in a hotel. He said that they're homeless, quote unquote. They're homeless because literally they didn't have a home. They live off of the hotel, right? And he started out his career in Manitoba as as a car salesman, and then he continued that on here.
Yeah, so basically, I knew that I needed to be successful when I got here, right? So I knew that to be able to create a beautiful story, I needed to document it where I'm starting, and now being able to generate over, I think we're almost $500,000 just for this year, because of all the videos and documentation we're creating, right? So the moment we sold our condo, you know what? Okay, let me document that. Brought our dog. We drove 30 hours to get here with our car. And then I was still in car sales when I got here. I sold 5 cars on my first week. What I realized is it's not just the skills that I had to be able to sell 5 cars. It's the fact that there's so many people here in Toronto. I was like, anything that I sell, there's so many people that I can sell to, whatever product it is. The beauty about what real estate agents do is you guys are in the high ticket offer business, meaning you don't need to sell 100 houses to be able to get to your first 6-figure. How many houses do you really need to sell to get your first $100,000 GCI?
Based on an average commission of a real estate agent.
3.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
But a lot of people are always saying, well,
right?
3 to 5.
Yeah.
3 to 5.
Well, it doesn't read that on new house.
3,000.
Read high.
Like luxury homes, right?
It's like 2 billion now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the average home now, right?
You can just sell one for two. Get up,
Wow.
Right? So there's a concept that's called 1,000 True Facts. I'm not sure if everybody heard about it. It's a book. It's a concept that says to be able to make your first 6-figure, you need to sell $100 product to 100 people. It's either an $8 product every single month or a $100 t-shirt or a $100 hat to 100 people. When you do the math, it's not hard to find those 100 people, but with real estate, you don't need to find 100 people. You only need to find 3 or 4. The beauty about social media is you get the ability for them to find you. And that's what I started doing, right? So like I said, on my first month, first week, I sold 5 cars. 2 months later, I quit my job. I said, you know what? I'm gonna build a product, whatever it is. I'm gonna find the people that needs to find me. And since then, I quit my job. I did vlogs, so I'm called the vlogger on Instagram. So vlogging, videographer combined, right? Now that becomes a brand. And by doing also that, within that same year, I was able to take my wife to a Greece trip, our over delayed honeymoon, right?
I thought it would take me as a business.
Yeah, right? So now we have drive a Tesla in this world. This is like the Ferrari in my world. Okay, I'm not yours is more like 911s and stuff. Ours is more like, hey, if you get a Tesla, you're not in the lower tier anymore. You're getting there somewhere. Okay. We have a team of people, over 10 people now in our team. We have a studio in Oakville. So this all happened because even without a connection in Toronto, it's just the fact that Instagram is there to be able for people to find me. And every time I come home, my wife's always like, where are you finding all these clients? I'm like, they find me on Instagram, right? Because every single day we're putting out contents, not contents that we create. It's more like we're just documenting our journey. From the moment that I decided that I want to quit my job, it's all on my social media platform. People want to follow your journey, right? There's no beautiful story without the journey where you came from and where you are now. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. You guys all have your own beautiful journey that we want you guys to really think about, because we want you guys to share it to the world. Okay?
Yeah. So let's get back to the point that Alvin was talking about. Basically, what we want you guys to understand is that, hey, we're learning about this now. Is it too late for me to get started? Right? So the difference between Alvin and I is that he's been doing all this documentation ever since he flew from the Philippines to Canada. Basically, I was mind boggled with the amount of videos this guy has. I thought I was doing it well before when I was doing some travel videos, but he's been doing it since 2004, right? So he's been documenting it. So it's kind of like embedded in his mind. So when we met, we talked about personal branding. I said, hey, you've been doing this for a while. Like, I don't know if my story is going to be as powerful as yours because of the journey that you've been through. And that's what people usually think, right? Is it too late for me to get started? But look at the contrast. He's been doing this since 2004. I started out last year. And look where we are today, right? We continue to tell our stories. People tune in. And at the same time, people reach out to us to get work done, right? So that's the contrast for you guys, real estate agents as well. Like, you guys want to be visible. You guys want to use social media as another avenue instead of just using Google ads or Facebook ads or flyers or doing door knocking. This is another avenue for guys to utilize that, right?
Something that I noticed when I started researching about the real estate industry is I see your feed, we just listed and just sold. That was it. No picture of yourself, no video of yourself. And that's very similar to what he was doing when he was a nurse. He's been doing real estate media for, I think, 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years before
I met him. I was looking for a partner and I saw this guy's page. I'm like, I don't know what he looks like. I need to know what you look like for us to be able to work together. Are you Asian? Are you an old person that's 9-year-old? I have no idea. Yes, your work is good, but I still need to see what you look like so I know if we vibe or we can work together. If you see his page all the way down, like if you scroll down, you'll see that there's you can't even see his face at all, right?
I was shy.
He was shy, so he was shy. So that means he was leaving money on the table too, because some people might not want to work with you or contact you because they don't know what you look like, right? So as soon as we started working together, I explained to him, you gotta start documenting your journey. Put yourself out there. It could be a photo, it could be a story, it could be a video of you just walking to your car. It could be a video of you making your coffee first thing in the morning. People need to see that you're a human being.
Yeah.
You're not just a just listed, just sold person that, that's all you post.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. I mean, they do, but it's not to extent that you may be able to get their business. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are stuck in sales. Do you agree? That's why there's like over 70,000 agents
In Ontario,
Ontario. And then how many people do you really make it on the 1%? You know what I mean?
or how many people actually do at least one transaction per year, right?
Right, so when we saw the, what is it called, the stat, like,
Yeah, 50%.
exactly.
And how many agents are part-timers that just have the license, right? Or they don't even make transactions at all.
Yeah, and a lot more people are actually very bad in marketing because they don't think they need it. They think, oh yeah, I have a good sphere of influence. I don't need to market myself. Let the people market for me, right? And a lot more people, actually, a lot more people are very bad in branding. Why do you think is that?
Anybody?
You don't know, and you don't want to put in time. and effort. You don't invest.
True, that's a good answer. But what I believe is a lot of people suck in branding because you don't think of yourself as a brand. You know, oh, Oprah Winfrey, that's a brand. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, those are a brand. Me, I'm just a regular person. I'm just a real estate agent. I'm a dad. You know, I'm a single person. I don't think I'm a brand, but you gotta start thinking that you are a brand.
Are you guys able to grasp that concept? Thinking of yourself as a brand, right? Because a lot of times, like when we've done all these brokerage, right? So some people tie themselves into the brokerage itself, right? A lot of real estate agents, but they don't. It's sometimes they don't really represent themselves. You know, they carry that name, but they don't carry their own name, right? So when they go to these listing presentations, oh yeah, I'm with Landpower. You know, the reason why you should go with me is because my brokerage is great. I'm with Landpower, right? But they don't leverage themselves to be that agent that they should be working with as well, because now they're utilizing Landpower's resources, right, to be the best agent that they can be, right, to be out there, right? So the reason why people should be working with you, yes, you are tied into a really, really great brokerage, but at the same time, it should be you, right? Because you are the person that they're going to help them make that transaction and hold their hand and walk with them from step A to step Z, right? So that's the concept of that branding, you being yourself, okay?
Yeah, so in personal branding, a lot of people, like I said, don't think of yourself as a brand, right? But I believe that every single one of you is a brand of your own. Okay, so think about it, really, really think about it. So let's talk about like what is personal branding.
So personal branding is not your personal image, okay? What they see, perceive, or hear right away. Personal branding is what they think of you in the long run. Okay, it's not what you look like. It's not like, you know, their first glance, right? What they think of you in the long run. So let's say I work with Michael, you know, and I have to describe Michael to someone that's as a real estate agent, right? So it's like, oh yeah, Michael's reliable. Michael is a great agent, you know, and he will make sure that I get the best deal or the lowest number for if I'm buying versus selling, right? So let's take a look at, you know, in a perspective of buying bags or shoes, right? Why do people buy into, let's say, Louis Vuitton, right? Regardless of what they look like, right? Even what is it, the Balenciaga shoes, right? Sometimes those shoes, like it looks like Asics or that brand, but it's ripped apart. But people would still buy a $5,000 shoes. Why? Because it's the brand of Balenciaga, right? And they either think that because the quality is great, right? And they know that it's real and it's made with real leather or whatever the fabric is, and they know it's a trusted product, okay?
Yeah, so personal branding is what they think of you over the long run. When they say your name, what words comes to mind? It's your reputation, right? So when they think of, for example, let's say your broker of record, what are the 3 words that come to mind when you see him? Right?
Don't be shy.
That's his brand, right? That's the perception of a person that sees him, right? The mistake of a lot of people do is they don't craft their brand intentionally. It happens by accident. The beauty about social media, you're in control. What do you want to showcase? If you put, let's say in the morning, you're making your coffee at 5:30 in the morning, nobody knows about it, then you post it on stories, a lot of people will perceive you as a person, as a morning person. oh, you're passionate about what you do because at 5:30 you're already up. I want to work with you because you love what you do. You're ready to crush the day. You're heading to the office. You driving, film that, document that. You driving to work, ready to crush the day. People want to work with people who are passionate about what they do. They're not dragging themselves to work. They're excited to go to work. So people want to work with business. People want to do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. That's like sales 101, right? But who are the people that you trust the most? People that you see the most, people that you know the most, and people that you learn from. Right? That's why you're friends with your friends right now. You know, you trust them because you see them often, you know what they like to eat, you know what their values are in life, and you learn from them. Right? That's why you have those digital heroes on social media where, oh yeah, even though you don't know them in person, but you're learning from them, you trust them that whatever they say, you're gonna believe. So you gotta be that person that people will know, like, and trust as well. Okay?
So personal brand is not a person. Personal brand is your public projection, right? So a lot of the times you guys are also in pre-construction, right? So when you guys are working with a builder or with a developer, what would you tell your clients if, let's say, this building is with Tridel versus this building is with X, Y, and Z, right? Why would you pitch that building or that project to your clients more? Okay, because of the reputation and the public projection that they've built over time. Okay, so that's something that's very important as well. Okay.
One of the things I really love about real estate, your industry, is you guys don't work a 9 to 5 job. It's not an office where you're stuck there for 9 to 5. You do so many things during the day that is different from a 9 to 5 person, right? You sticking your sold sign or your for sale sign in front of a lawn, like someone called it lawn. In
The
front of
lawn,
house.
yeah.
Yeah, the lawn. You stick
He
it
lives
in.
in a condo, so he doesn't have a lot.
Yeah, right. So
It doesn't have a
there's
yard.
A lot of people need to see those dirty work that you do for a client. You helping a client move boxes. Those are contents that you can post on social media that you need to showcase to everybody in your following base.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the things that when we started working with a lot of real estate agents, when they come up to us, there's always a problem, right? And the problem was, how do I get more clients? But what we found is that whenever we talk about real estate agents, a lot of people have this perception of real estate agents as what? I'm just gonna be blunt. Some people say they're scums. They just want their commission. They don't care about their clients. They just want a sale, whether if it's buying or selling, right? They don't see a lot of real estate agents as human beings. So when you go into social media, they post a bunch of stuff and it goes viral. A lot of the comments are kind of like on the negative space, right? But what we wanted to change is that perception. Okay, we wanted real estate agents to be seen as human being. And this is when we look at the social media of some people where it's like they go to your page, it's like sold for sale, sold for sale, for sale. Then how would they know what kind of person you really are as a real estate agent, right? Because now they're gonna see like, hey, they don't. It's a social media. It's supposed to be a back and forth with your audience. Then all I'm gonna see is for sale, or sold. I already know you do that on a daily basis, right? So when we say document, create, like Alvin said, you guys are not in a 9 to 5 job. Okay, so there's no clocking in, there's no clocking out. So how would people know that you're actually working? Right? How would they know? Right? If
your
you're not,
clock in is the first post of the day
yeah, on your story,
on your
right?
story.
So when people see us post on our stories, some of you guys follow us already. Some people would comment like, "Oh my God, you're up at 5 in the morning, you're editing, or you're up at 2 in the morning, you're still editing, doing all this stuff. I'm up too. I'm putting an offer for a client because now they just changed their mind and they got to wake up at 2 in the morning and do it." But some people don't see that, right? You want to showcase all these things that you're doing on the back end where not a lot of people see. There's one time I was doing a listing shoot and the light thing fell off and the agent is literally screwing it on and doing the dirty work, like what Alvin said, but nobody knows about it. They think that you're just there to put the sign and then call it a day and wait for people to give you offers, right? But some people, even real estate agents, they would do the painting themselves. They would do all like the actual renovations. They would do all these things, but people don't know that, right? That's something that you want to show people about you because this is what you do on a daily basis. And that's what a lot of people miss.
And the beauty about social media, for example, today I walked in here, Michael asked me, how was your vacation? We don't talk normally on a daily basis, but he sees what I do. Oh, you just came back from your vacation. He knows where I am because I posted online,
It's a lot of
right? It's a
vacations.
conversation starter, right? Because now basically people are like binge watching whatever it is that you're doing. Even if you think that your life is boring, for some people, it's like, wow, like
Could be, yeah.
you're doing something.
Yeah. And
Right?
it's that relational aspect, right? So if you go to a Starbucks and you order this coffee and you somehow post about it, I love this coffee. Like, hey, I love caramel macchiato with foam on top. It's 50%, you know, like whatever it may be, right? So you started that conversation with someone, right? When you post these things, you're not trying to get 1,000 people to comment on it. You're not trying to get 30,000 people to try and follow you because you posted one thing. It's all about relational, right? How can people relate to you, and it becomes personal to them as well. And now they would want to work with you because you somehow relate, right?
Yeah, if you work with a team, it's easier because hey, you film me, I film you. You know, now we have two contents that we can post every single day. If you have kids at home, hey, can you film me? I'm just gonna make some, you know, sushi for us or whatever. Those are already contents that
You love
can
sushi.
put out, right? So and most people will probably be like, hey, Alvin, but you're in the real estate media space. You know your clients. You know who you're targeting, right? In real estate, everybody might be your potential client. Somebody that knows somebody will refer you because they see you online or they know you're a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So this is something that we were able to accomplish back in 2017, 2018. So I was in car sales. What we did is we needed to break some records in Manitoba. We needed to sell more than 300 cars. It's never been done in a small province. Manitoba is basically the same population as Mississauga. So that whole thing is just a city here in GTA. Okay. So no one has ever done selling more than 300 cars. So January of that year, we set up a mission. Road to 301. That means we're selling more than 300 cars. Okay. So social media is the only way we can actually accomplish it. So what we did is we created content around our daily life in the dealership. Meaning me bolting plates on the car. A lot of people don't see that. Me washing their car before the actual presentation. When they come into the dealership, it's clean, it's ready to go. Those are the things that you are also doing in real estate, right? But what happens here is when we set up that mission to the world, everybody wanted to support us. I want to be part of the 300, the record-breaking idea that you guys have. So they started talking to their friends, hey, are you looking for a car? Looking for a car. That's similar to you guys setting a record to, hey, I want to sell 60 houses this year by myself.
I want Landpower to get 100 allocations, I don't know. Like,
right?
or
And the beauty about this, if you can see, there's only 5 likes, but there's 3,000 views. People are watching, right? That same year, we finished with 357 cars sold. With the help of everybody, our friends, our family supporting us, because every single day we're putting out contents.
Yeah. So one of the things that we want you guys to focus on is like what Alvin already mentioned, is that there's 6 likes in total here, right? But there's almost 3,000 views. Okay. But they were still able to accomplish their goal and even surpassed it, right? So when a lot of our clients come to us when we create social media contents with them is that I want to get more followers, I want to gain more likes, and I want to get more views, right? But that's something that we don't promise them, right? Because social media is a long-term game, and at the end of the day, you guys are in a high-ticket business where you only need 5 transactions to surpass that 6-figure mark, right? Well, if you want to get to seven figures, then that's a different story. But at the end of the day, the comparison, right? So people get discouraged with the fact like, oh, I only got this much likes. But if you look at it this way, how many people here have over 100 followers on Instagram, right? Over 500. Oh, okay, maybe I'm doing it wrong. So who here has like, you know, less than 500 followers on Instagram? right? Less than 300. Okay, so let's go 500. And some people are like, oh, I don't really have a lot of followers on my Instagram. But if this room is filled with 500 people, right here and there, this room is gonna be packed, right? This is gonna be packed with a lot of people. So regardless of if you're having conversation with every single one of them in person, how many people do you think you would actually convert, right? To actually buy or sell from you? It's gonna be difficult, right? But with social media, you have that reach in a click of a button, right? So it doesn't matter if you only have 500 likes or 1,000 or 30,000. At the end of the day, you gotta focus on the people that would actually convert into sales, right? Because you only need 1 or 2 or 3 at the end of the day, right?
Who here, when you post a story on Instagram, watches how many people have watched that story?
I'm narcissistic, so I do it.
There you go. Sometimes you have 100 people that have seen that story, 200 people, depends on how many followers you have. Those are, one of them might be a potential client, that are looking for, trying to get in the market or trying to, look for somebody that can help them with their next property, right? Something that I learned throughout this journey in personal branding is you are the most powerfully positioned to serve others who you once were. Okay, you're most powerfully positioned to serve others who you once were. So if you talk about how you purchased your first property ever and talk about it in social media, that's what people are going to learn from you. Right? How did you get to your 10 doors under your name? Talk about it, because you guys are the agents. You guys, whatever you guys have done to get to where you guys are now, when you talk about it, you inspire people to actually do the same thing. They're gonna trust you.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people, they think, I don't have any contents to post.
Yeah.
You're overthinking your contents. Whatever you did to get to where you are now, just document that, put it out in the world, create stories through written words or videos, whatever it is that you're more comfortable doing in the beginning. And that's literally your content. You are your own show.
Yeah.
Right? That people can follow through that journey that you have. You don't need to fake it. Whatever it is, if you came from whatever part of the country at this age, this is what my parents did for me, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Those are contents that you can post online.
Yeah.
Right? People will follow that journey.
Okay. Yeah, so one of our clients that posted on very first post actually under social media, where he talked about being a student, right? Coming to Canada. He was an international student.
Right.
And what he talked about is buying his first property as an international student, right? And he did it through pre-construction because he had to wait a couple of years to actually get his PR, right? So that's when it closed, like how the process.
And he got another friend to pitch in on the down payment.
Yeah. He talked about like having people, because even though you don't have money, you got to get people to work with you and pitch in to do it, right? That post blew up. It was almost like 50,000 views, a lot of comments on TikTok and Instagram, and a lot of people reached out to him. Why? Because we have a lot of international students that are coming here to Canada are trying to do the same thing, right? So that type of information that they were able to relate to him, now he became that point person to ask questions. Now people are buying from him and doing the same process that he did, right? That's why the backstory is very important, right? Like if you're an immigrant, you're a single mom, single dad, whatever it may be, family man, like, you know what I mean? So again, it goes back to relational and utilizing social media to do that, to either attract more people or convert it into your business, right?
Any questions so far?
Yeah.
Actually, for Instagram, there are a lot of junk or fake followers. So how to identify them or try to get rid of them?
You don't necessarily need to. Like I said, this exactly something that we're going to talk about is building your tribe. Like, who cares about the fake followers or whatever it is that you have? What you need to focus on is your current followers that are real. Okay, even let's say you have 1,000 followers at the moment and only 500 of them are real. That's still 500 people that you can nurture and connect with. You don't need to remove them. Like, why focus your energy on something that it can be just there? You know, focus your attention on the 500 people that you currently have, the real ones.
As long as it's not affecting how you operate or use your social media, right? Like, because we get some fake followers
Yeah.
too, like if they just keep following us for some reason and they would like tag us on stories and stuff like that. As long as you don't click on any of those links, then you're safe. Okay, because those people are trying to like hack you or whatever, right? So don't click on any link.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number one on social media, right? You don't know where it's gonna lead to. Okay, so we're gonna talk about trying to be famous, right? Not in the sense that you guys are gonna go viral, but trying to be famous within your own tribe, right? How to cultivate a fascinating character that makes you famous within your tribe and creates business longevity. Okay, I'm gonna create an example. Genuine and Gen Can, they have for me, I've worked with them before, and I personally believe that they have a strong personal brand, right? Because of, for me, because of their aesthetic, the way they built their website, the way they represent themselves on social media and stuff like that. And if I were to be working in a brokerage and I see that, and I'm a real estate agent, and I relate to that, then I would want to join that brokerage because I can get knowledge from them, right? So that's what we mean. Okay, you don't have to be famous within the whole Toronto or be the best real estate agent in Canada. Okay, just in the micro, right? Micro's point of view, where you're gonna attract people to be with you because of what you're doing already for your business, right?
It's like when they think of real estate, how do you become the first person that come to mind? Right? Like, how do you become the first person that come to mind when they think about real estate? And let's talk about like the fake followers. It's funny because when we were starting out, it's when we look at the views and everything like that. Sometimes you click on, okay, who viewed my story, right? And then you look at, oh, maybe there's like a fake followers. It's funny, when one of our highest paying client last year, it was actually his assistant that was viewing my story, and the top producer couldn't really view my story because he had his own social media manager at that time that he wanted to fire. So it was the assistant that was viewing my story and they're basically preparing to book me after once they fired the social media manager that they had. So sometimes even if you think they're fake followers because they don't have a photo or they're just like no followers or whatever, that might be someone that are actually just looking into working with you or working for someone that want to work with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so just kind of like going back to that. Okay.
You'd be surprised. Like some people just create accounts just to view people's accounts. You know, it's weird, but people do it.
You do it with your ex.
I have enough. Anyway, so what is a tribe? A tribe is a group of people connected to one another, connected to a leader, or connected to an idea. Okay, let's talk about it in this scale, micro scale, where this brokerage, right? So this brokerage is what we call a tribe, right? You guys are connected to an idea, right? Which is you guys are real estate agents. And at the same time, you guys are connected to a leader who is Steven, your broker of record, broker owner, right? So there is a reason. So if you think about it this way, he's a superstar here, right? Because there's a reason why people join this brokerage. It's because of the leadership, right? So now, right now, him and this tribe, he is the famous one, right? So that's what we mean by that. And some brokerage too, where you become that, that top producing superstar real estate agent because of what you're doing for yourself as well. And that's when we go back to that Landpower versus the real estate agent and making yourself known as your own personal brand. Okay.
Yeah, so basically another thing that we want to go on the next slide. So clients may come to you because of what you do, but they will stay with you because of who you are. Okay, this is very, very powerful statement. Clients will come to you because of what you do, but they will stay with you because of who you are. When it started this, when we moved to Toronto, a lot of agents already have their own videographers. It's a saturated market. A lot of people are already doing what I do. And I'm like, I can't be discouraged because at the end of the day, they will stay with me because of who I am and because of my journey.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't mean that, yes, there's 70,000 agents all over GTA. Doesn't mean it's super saturated. You will be the most famous person within your own tribe. You own that market. Focus on that 500 followers that you have. You don't need to compete with 70,000 agents. just nurture what you already have and make sure that they're taken care of.
Mhm.
Every day show up for them. They follow you because they want to know more about you. Well, why not show up for them? You know, and you build your personal brand basically one follower at a time. Reintroduce yourself again. Talk about your story again over and over. It might be very annoying on your part, but for them, they don't know who you are. Reintroduce yourself. Talk about your story. Talk about your journey again, again and again and again until they get to know who you are. And then, you know, like there's what they call a rule of marketing, marketing rule of 7. It takes at least 7 points, touch point before they make a transaction with you. That's in sales. That's like sales 101. Okay. So like we said, clients may come to you because of what you do, it's stay with you because of who you are. That's the way we were always building our business.
Yeah.
It's not just about, yes, they contacted us, but it also, hey, we become brothers as soon as you start working with us.
So think about it this way again. What we talk about, there's 70,000 real estate agents in Ontario right now, and it's still growing. I think it's almost 80 right now.
Yeah.
From what I heard last. How would you differentiate yourself from those people, right? If you're saying like in the pocket of markup, right? So you guys are in the business where people are giving you their full trust, maybe their whole life savings to buying their first home, right? And affordability right now is very hard, right? So people are working hard to get that down payment to buy their first home. So the trust is there, right? So if you are not a person that's trustworthy or just not a good real estate agent in general, then obviously that's going to impact your personal brand. And that's going to impact of what people will perceive of you because they would hear it from that person, right? A lot of you guys here have built your businesses from way back. Who here has been in the business for more than 20 years? 15, right? So a lot of you guys have built your referral system, right? So a lot of the real estate agents that we've worked with before is that I'm okay, I'm good. I already have my referral. That's enough for me to keep my business going, right? But then they realize that, hey, actually that may be not enough because of the ever-changing evolution of social media and how business and marketing is going. Why do you think Blockbuster went out of business? Right? This is documented, right? They were beat by Netflix because they never went digital, right? Now, Blockbuster, we used to go to Blockbuster every Sunday, go pick a movie, rent it out. People are lining up to wait for that movie to come out because they want to rent it. They were big in the business, but everything went digital. They didn't adapt, and now they went bankrupt. There's only one Blockbuster left in the US, right? So in a sense, a lot of our clients are coming to us now. It's like, hey, you know what? I may need to change my strategy into marketing because now I'm getting left behind, right? So that is the goal for this for you guys. Okay?
Yeah, so basically listening to us now, you're probably thinking, okay, how am I gonna execute on this idea that I'm just learning at the moment? Okay, who here is familiar with Guinness beer?
I don't drink.
Michelin tires. Okay, you guys have heard it. Red Bull. Okay, so their marketing strategy is nothing different than you guys can do. Okay, for Guinness beer, they created what they call Guinness Book World of Record. Are you guys familiar with that story? Right? They created Guinness Book World Record to promote Guinness beer. Michelin tires created Michelin stars to review hotels.
Food.
Two different approach. They're not promoting their product, they're promoting something else to promote the product at the same time. Right? Two different brands. Red Bull. They never create commercials on the actual can. They create extreme sports. You'll see the Red Bull logo on like people skydiving and all these motorbikes and everything like that. Your version of that is your journey, your daily day in the life you're documenting, but you happen to sell real estate. You know, most people are like, okay, I want to post a new listing because this is the product that I have. But in reality, if you do a day in the life that you are a real estate agent, you're still gonna get that business, even though you're not posting the just listed or just sold. Right? Now, if you do that every single day and you're just documenting, like I said, you going to work, clocking out at 2 a.m. in the morning, waking up at 5 a.m., that's your version of Michelin tires, Guinness Book World Record, and extreme sports with Red Bull. Now they will binge watch who you are and they'll trust you. Now they're gonna buy your product no matter what, whatever it is that you sell. And most times, like even years from now, you're probably not gonna be a real estate agent. Who knows? You're probably now a broker of record or a broker owner. So at least things will change, but at the same time, your personal brand is not.
That's
Right?
evergreen.
So whatever you're now restarting from scratch. It's like The Rock. Right? Who is familiar with The Rock? Dwayne Johnson. He used to be a wrestler, became a football player, now an actor. Now he has a tequila business. Now it's like you can do any business if you have a personal brand. That's what it is. Elon Musk, right? So all those little things, like you gotta start really just focusing on your personal brand. So no matter which industry you go into, you're not starting from scratch. Okay?
So let's talk about World Health Organization. So let's play a little game called Who. All right. So I'm gonna give you guys some points, and then let's see if you guys can guess who it is. All right. His parents were killed by a robber when he was 8 years old. Billionaire playboy that lives in a mansion, dressed up in a costume that fights crime at night. Bruce Wayne or Batman.
How do you know?
How do you know?
Brand.
The
Right?
movies,
Movies,
the
yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So they recreate movies over and over and over, same story. They don't want that brand to die. Right? Batman's been created years back. But why do they keep on creating stories, movies and comics and stuff like that, right? Because they don't want them to be forgotten.
Yeah.
Right?
And Batman. Okay. So co-founded the electronic payment firm in 2002. He founded a company that makes rockets, spacecrafts. Okay. He was a major early funder of a car company which makes electric cars and batteries, and became CEO of it in 2008. You guys can say it if you guys already know. He purchased Elon Musk. How do you know?
PayPal.
PayPal, right?
Twitter.
Twitter X.
Yes.
Twitter X, right? So Elon Musk. So again, going back to personal branding, association with words. Okay, that's it, right? This is on a global scale, right?
Yeah.
This is on a bigger scale, the macro scale, right? Moved with wife and dog from Manitoba in Toronto in 2021. Quit his full-time 9-to-5 job after 2 months to pursue vlogging full-time. Built a 6-figure content marketing agency in less than a year. Opened their first office. Oh, that's new. Studio real estate agent and brokerage in 2023. How do you know? Right? Yes, he just told you his story, but at the end of the day, now some people call him like, hey, this kid from Manitoba,
Yeah.
right? Some people say he's from Edmonton or something. It's just somewhere out west that they can name a province. But again, we tell our story, right? So even for some people, like I posted a story the other day about what happened to me as a nurse. Not people know like my full story, and I realized like I really didn't tell that part, right? There's some things that I missed. So let me reiterate it to the people who are following me already. And I've gotten messages from people who are pretty much going through the same journey as me, right? So I suffered a back injury as a nurse, and that's one of the points where I also thought about quitting my job as well, because I couldn't continue on, right? Doing that to my body. I got so many messages from people, they're referring me to chiropractors and all that stuff and giving me referrals with these doctors, right? So those are the things that it's not real estate related, right? That you can have a conversation with someone, right? And it's all about that personal touch that you go with your clients, because at the end of the day, being a real estate agent, you're getting into these people's lives, right? I've heard that some real estate agents are also therapists, right? Their best friend, right? They, the handyman or whatever it may be, right? So that was the number one thing at therapists, because their clients would talk to you about their personal life, their problems, everything, right? These people become vulnerable in front of you, right? So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's why in our social media we always like talk about backstory. Every new followers that you have don't know who you are. What they're gonna do is they're gonna binge watch everything that you have on your contents and see which part of this contents can I relate to, right? That's why it's also important to talk about even like whatever it is that you did before you got into real estate. What inspired you to get into real estate? Those are contents that you're missing out if you're not telling that story. If you were a car salesman before you got into real estate, hey, I have questions about car sales. I realized that you used to be in car salesman before. What do you think about leasing and financing? So now you're having conversation,
Mhm.
right? In real estate, in sales, what we call it is it's a numbers game. The more conversations you have, the more chances you can actually get your next sale, right? The beauty about social media, you post a story, you go to Krispy Kreme, and then you post a donut. Somebody will come, hey, I love that. Do they have a deal right now, or can you buy me a dozen donuts? You know, now you're in conversation.
Yeah.
Right now you're friends with that person because of that. You're not cold calling anymore. You're
Who
just
here,
basically doing a post.
Who here used to or still does it? Door knocking. Anybody? No, that's one of the things that real estate agents do that we've learned, right? They literally go door to door to talk to people, right? Or giving out flyers into their neighborhood, right? So some people do that, right? So number one, that takes a lot of time. Number two, you may get yelled at in your face, right? Number three, like some people are not very like pleasant at the end of the day, in today's day and age, right? But with social media, that's another form of door knocking, right? But you're doing it at the comfort of your home, wherever you may be, right? Who here still reads newspaper? You know, when some people wake up in the morning, what is the first thing they do? Is go to the toilet and read newspaper. But now you're on social media, right? You're scrolling through
Sitting
your
on the
feed,
toilet.
sitting on the toilet, just be putting it out there, right? But if you, however long you spend sitting down, you can use that 15 minutes or half an hour to converse with that person, right? Or if you watch their stories, like, hey, I like this, like, you know, take that 10, 15 minutes just to be like, hey, hi, whatever, great, right? To make that comment, to start that conversation, to spark that, get the ball rolling, okay? So again, why is backstory so important? Some of the people that are coming into your social media sphere, if they are interested in what you put out, they're gonna follow you. And some people don't really know your full story, right? So you must get them up to speed, right? That story has to be told over and over again. Another example we have is, you know, if you guys have ever followed fitness influencers on social media, right? Those weight loss journey, right? So they keep posting every 6 posts about themselves of how they became 200 pounds or 250 pounds to 150, how much they've lost weight. And for me as a follower, I'm like, oh, I already know that. Why would you keep posting it? Right? But what I didn't realize is that those people gain new followers either every day, every week, every month, right? So they need to tell those story over and over again. Okay.
So now, so this is your mythology, your legend, your life story summarized, and it must be told again and again endlessly within your personal branding presentation in different ways and use this as a foundation. So every time we do a presentation, we talk about our stories first, right? Every time somebody goes in my social media, okay, I got 5 new followers today. Let me post a story so they're reminded who I am, right? Who here is kind of like let's say, watch a reel and then you go to that person's account and you decide if you're gonna follow them or not, right? Okay, you know what? He's got great he's got updated post. He doesn't just have like one post on his page. I like it, I'm entertained, I'm learning something. And then you make the decision if you're gonna follow that person because now you want to see more of whatever you've already seen. So similar to this one, if you're in business, you post something, they will make a decision. They see your reel, they look at your page and like, okay, you know what? Let me learn more about this person. I want to see his stories every single day. Let me follow them, you know. So they make a decision off that. Okay?
Yeah.
So 3 E's in content creation.
There's entertaining. You guys seen those dancing ones, you know? Pointing, all that stuff, right? There's educational, where you guys see those captions, talking points, right? And empowering. So, you know, some people just put their camera on the side and then they're working and they put like motivational quotes on top of that, or like an audio that talks about something that's empowering. Okay.
So when you focus on these 3 things, it becomes easier to create, and especially like basically documenting, right? So entertaining, this could be a day in the life. Like I said, you making your coffee, then you know, let's say 10 different clips throughout the whole day. At the end of the day, you piece it all together. Now you have a day in the life vlog. Okay. Educational, simply as let's say you in the car talking about like, hey, the market update. educating somebody to your audience, and then you maybe do your editing through different apps on your phone now. That's educational. Empowering is very powerful because this is what people are gonna follow, why people are gonna follow you, because people are always looking for motivation.
Yeah.
Right. They're always looking for something that will inspire them to either buy something or just do something about their life. Right? As much as you don't think you can change people's lives, like based on your story, if you've been in the business for more than 15, 20 years, that's very inspiring to a lot of people. What's the turnover of like agents coming into the business and then going back to their 9 to 5 because they couldn't make it? They need to learn from you. If you've been in the business for more than 5, 10 years, teach the young ones. Right? And the beauty about what you do is there's listing agent and there's buyer's agent. That's something that I learned because in Manitoba, there's no buyer's agent. If you're looking for a place to just lease, you don't need an agent. You just contact directly the landlord or the owner of the building. You're good. The reason why I was well, before we moved from Manitoba to here, is there's an agent that kept on, when I contacted a building because I thought this is the process. One agent won't stop messaging me. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how much I need to pay this agent. They're trying to look for us to a place to stay when we moved here. And then that's when I realized they're a buyer's agent where we don't need to pay them. Right? So
Not a lot of people know that.
and a lot of people don't know that, right? So people need to be educated and be reminded again.
Yeah.
Right?
So one of the points when you're creating content is that a lot of people will would tell us, right, when they work with us, is that I've seen agents do this already, so why would I do it? Right? So what we tell our clients is that you don't have the same audience as those people, right? People that actually trust you and follow you. Yes, they may follow the same agent, they may not. But at the end of the day, if you're providing them that information coming through your videos, then they would know that you're the expert in that field, right? If they hear from somebody else, then let's say Alvin, I did a video and Alvin didn't do the video, and then that client may come to me instead because like, hey, I didn't hear Alvin say it. Like he may not be an expert on pre-construction, even though he does it, right? So those things that we got to keep in mind where we're creating these contents, just because you've seen someone else's do it, doesn't mean that it's not right for you to do it as well. Okay, because for us videographers, there's a lot of videos out there that's similar and quite the same. So why would it impede us from doing the same thing or putting our own twist to it? And that's where personal branding comes in, because you put it in your own words that is not being said by the same person, right? Word for word, because it's coming from you at the end of the day, right?
And most agents, they say, well, I don't want other agents following me. Have you guys heard that before? Or like, hey, most of my followers are other agents. But if you think about it, those other agents are your salespeople. They're an army that you can build as a community, that when you have a listing and you post it on your social media, they're the ones going to look for the buyers for that listing that you have. That's why people do brokers open now. They do agents open. They have an open house. They invite agents to come in so they can promote it in their social media space, right? And their platforms.
That's free advertising.
Those are free advertising.
Right?
So don't feel bad if you have agents following you. That's the beauty about it. Those are your army of salespeople that can do the selling for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do the same thing. Even for us, we have a community of over 40 content creators that we built as a community, and then we're the one who kind of built it. If we have double bookings or overflowing of clients, they get it. They're the ones going to help us. So same thing for real estate agents. It's okay for other agents to follow you. That's how you become a leader in the industry. That's that's what gets you on stage. With other agents, you're teaching them and stuff. Okay. So something that we kind of specialize in is more on the educational content for agents.
Yeah, so these are the samples of the educational stuff that we put up. For the agents, right? These are more the educational ones, and it's been what's working for them, right? And this is the most common thing that people really need to get started on, right? For their journey, right? When they're creating their content. But at the same time, we push on video leads to opportunities and document versus create. What we mean by that is that a lot of people get fixated on having the perfect video, or I want it to be done professionally, right? So one thing that we push our clients to do is that you have your phone, which is very powerful, right? And we just teach you how to utilize it properly, like kind of like what we do for ourselves. If you go look at our videos, if it's not the one made for our clients that we post, 90% of our videos is just us using our phones to create those content, right? And none of it is done by a professional camera. Okay,
'Cause
so
even if we have, the most expensive cameras, we don't use it to create our own content for our own marketing. We still use our phones.
Yeah.
Because the key is sustainability, something that you can consistently create on a daily, and it's hard to always have your big camera with you and film you making coffee with a big camera, and the SD cards needs to be pulled and put on your computer.
Yeah.
Right? You have your phone. If you have your phone with you, optimize it. Like this is the way we do it. I have a stand on my phone that I can easily put it on a stand and I can walk and start acting, right? That's it. Like you optimize it in a way where you can sustain it.
Yeah.
Right? Even I have this little camera here. I'm not selling it, but this is it. Right? It's an Insta360 Go 3. It's the best investment I've ever had. It's a click of a button, right? You hear that sound, right? And now I'm recording, and this is attached to Bluetooth on my phone, so now I can have it edited by the end of the day.
and there's an app that comes with it too.
There's an app that comes with it, right? So say hi. Yeah, there you go. So that's part of my documentation throughout the day. It makes it easier for me now. As much as yes, it's easy with the phone, it's easier with this one. It's like a lens being pulled out of my phone. Put it in my pocket. I actually attach it on my shirt. So if I'm doing something, right? So easy. They make it easy for you to create content nowadays.
Yeah.
All right.
So one of the challenges that people face too is that sometimes it's hard for them to speak in front of the camera, right? Everybody does retakes. Like nobody does it perfectly the first time. If you put us in front of the camera, we could barely talk.
Yeah.
Like we're always behind the camera, right? And some people are like, oh, language barrier. Sometimes I don't know if I speak English fluently, or I may say the wrong words and all that stuff, right? But this is
It's for the
so this
It's
is
for decluttering your home. Start with a plan. Determine which area of your home you want to declutter. Make a list of tasks.
I'll
and
talk about her
deadlines
after.
and follow them. Sort and categorize. Sort your belongings into categories such as keep, donate, sell, or recycle. Take one room at a time. Focus on it at a time to prevent yourself from feeling overwhelmed. Start with a small space such as closet or bathroom and work your way up to the larger place.
So I'm gonna pause there. So she is one of our most consistent clients. Like we film with her every 2 weeks,
Our
right?
youngest.
Youngest clients. So when she contacted us, that was her main concern. Like, what would I do in order to, like, either one, it's too late for me to get into this game, and two, I'm not confident in being in front of the camera, and three, English is not my first language, right? So you can hear in her accent as well. But at the end of the day, she is a top producer in her brokerage, right? And she gets her business from social media, a lot of it from social media. And I don't know if you guys know Reddit, like that,
Yeah.
right? So I didn't know people utilize that for their business too. A lot of her clients come from Reddit too. She would post it on Reddit, and she would write blogs about it, right? So I was like, for me, that's like mind blowing, and it's those factors shouldn't deter you from being able to create these type of contents and being able to do it and generate more income for yourselves, right? Doesn't mean that she doesn't have a good referral base. She does as well, but now she's 10x those opportunities by doing these, right? And going back to you, so this we film it with her, right? But going back to using your phone and utilizing what you have already at home. So
3 questions to ask yourself before.
so this is a client that we have that he just sent us
Will
the
this be
video.
my forever home or just a stepping stone to buy my forever home? If you can't.
So you just use his phone,
this
this is his
You should
basement,
consider
create
buying
his
something smaller,
studio.
build an equity and
Uh,
roll that over to the next home.
And send it over to us.
Number
Send it
2,
over.
what will be my cost to maintain that home? See, when you rent, you're not responsible.
So this is
3
the final.
questions to ask yourself before buying a new home. Number 1, will this be my forever home or just a stepping stone to buy my forever home? If you can't qualify for the home you really want, you should consider buying something smaller, build an equity and roll that over to the next home. Number 2, what will be my
So a lot of the times an agent come to us, and obviously using professional equipment comes with the price, right? So these are one of the things that we provide for them when they come to us is that, hey, we just want to get you started. This is what you need. This is what we think you should do, and just talk about it, right? And in turn, send us the video and we'll edit it for you, right? To cut down the cost in some ways, but still make it look professional enough, right? Obviously, people will still know that this is filmed from a phone. And then obviously at the end of the day, these kind of edits, you can't really just use your phone to do it, right? So to up that game a little bit, right? So watching that video from that to that, let me ask you guys a question. How much do you think he paid for it? For the edit? 200? I'll take that. Want to say it?
Who was that 50? Who was that 50?
So the way we do it is we come up with solutions for agents, right? To make it, to basically kickstart your journey on content creation. Our goal is to teach you guys so you don't need to hire us anymore, right? Because even this week alone, we're fully booked. We can only take at least 3 or 4 clients per day, right? So for this one, it's $1 per second. That's 27 seconds. He gave us a minute video where we clean it up, we remove the likes, the pauses, the so, you know, we cut it down as more precise as we can and add the background music, we color grade it, we crop it, we add the GIFs, the memes, the captions. If you were to make it on your own, it's probably gonna make at least 2-3 hours of your time to do it by yourself.
That's the consensus we've gotten from people who are trying to make the reels themselves, right? From their phone. So that's not even including the GIFs, like, you know, these animations and stuff that's included in it, right? So what we tell our clients is that we teach you, send us a video and we'll edit it if you want to, right? But if you take a look at it in a perspective, you spending $1 per second, let's say this is a 30-second video, you spend $30. And if you try to do this on your own to 2 to 3 hours of your day, if you spend that 2 to 3 hours to getting a client and closing a deal and making $25,000 or $30,000 in commission, like, you know, in a scale, like, was that more productive for you than doing this and sending it off to a professional, right? But at the end of the day, again, we want to find solutions for our clients, and this is one of the ones that we found that work for them. So we're like, okay.
So what we try to do is we try to eliminate the excuses for you not to create, right? Once we leave this place, we want to be able to follow every single one of you and watch what you guys are going to do after today.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start documenting your journey as soon as you today should be already on your social media that you're learning about content creation, right? The beauty about every single time, let's say you go eat out and let's say at a restaurant, right? You go to your favorite restaurant, you film that food that you're about to eat before your wife gets mad or whatever, right? You take a photo, you tag that restaurant. Now that restaurant with 10,000 followers repost that story. Now you're anchoring to that 10,000 followers that they have. That creates eyeballs to your business.
Yeah.
You don't need to wait until you get your next listing to have a content to post. Everything that you do is an opportunity for you to create content and reach more people.
Yeah.
You go to the gym, take a photo of your weights. Now tag that Good Life, you know, whatever gym you go to. Now Good Life sees your story. They repost you on their social media. Now you're tapping into 1,000 more people.
Yeah.
That's
right.
how easy it is to reach more people now.
Yeah. So that's when we tell people, like, you don't have to overthink, or you don't need to have the perfect video to actually be out there and create content, right? Show up on your stories. And again, anchoring into people's viewership, right? When you're tagging people, there's a reason why we tag people in our stories whenever we meet new people, right? So they can repost, right? Vice versa, if they tag us, then we will repost, right? So now that 500 followers that you have, if I have 3,000, he has 5,000, 10,000, now people are going to see it too. And if they're curious enough, based on what you post, right, they're going to go into your page and look at you. But then again, if your page is not ready, meaning that all you see is just sold, for sale, whatever it may be, and they don't see you as a person, then they're just going to click on the next one.
That's
right?
a waste opportunity.
Yeah, exactly, right? So whenever people ask us, do you have a business card? I don't have a business card. I show my Instagram. That's my business card, right? So I used to have a website. I took down my website because I was paying $500 a year for that website, but it's not generating me leads, right? So now I utilize social media to its full potential, that now the DMs I get, the messages I get is the one that converts into actual business, right? Based on what I put out on my story, on my posts, on my reels, whatever it may be, right? And you guys can do that as well.
Yeah, so the way I would think about this is you are a media company. If you have a phone with you, this is your window to reach people. Okay? Every single one of you is a media company that happens to sell real estate. It's almost like opening up a restaurant where you don't want people to go into a restaurant and you're like, hey, we're open for business, but you don't have a signage ready, you don't have the tables, you don't have the chefs, you don't have the kitchen, and the presentation of your restaurant is not prepared. Similar to social media, you gotta make sure that you have contents ready as soon as people get in. They look at it, oh my God, I like it. He's active, the last post wasn't last year. That means he's still an actively selling agent. Social media is ready to go. Profile picture is nice. The bio is nicely laid out. There's a calendar invite, for when they want to book an appointment with you. Social media reels are already active. Like all this stuff, that's like opening up a restaurant that you're ready to go serve.
Yeah, it becomes your sales funnel, right? When people don't see it that way, right? But it's social media is ever changing. People talk about like, hey, how do you build out a business off of social media? This is one of the avenues that we do it, right? Yeah, so this is one of the things that we've gotten from our clients over time, just the comments that we get from posting reels, right? We love it when our clients send us these messages after they've posted something and then now it converted into something, right? So some of them doesn't happen right away. Some of them actually does happen right away, which is, a great thing, right? So
you'll be surprised. So it's not just to generate leads. So right now, if you're reading it, like there's people that got some leads out of the first reel that they post or a video that they've been posting consistently. But the most beautiful thing that happened is when one of our clients even told us, they said, it's so much easier now to sell on the phone. It seems like they want to desperately work with me instead of me becoming a cashback agent. No, they want to work with me. Like, squeeze me in your calendar. I love what you do. I love your contents. So now selling is easier because you do have your contents doing the selling for you. Because they already trust who you are. It's like like we said, you become the celebrity in your tribe and like, bro, like work with me. Can I get your autograph? Like I see you every single day. Now it's like same in business. Can I, like there's no more negotiating. Like no more negotiation, no more like cutting down your commission. Straight up, they just want to work with you. You can even up your commission if you want, more.
yeah,
right?
so there's less. What we found is like when with our clients' house, there's less negotiations with the split or whatever it may be. I forgot the terminology, but literally you're there to go to a listing or buyer's presentation, not trying to sell yourself anymore, right? You're walking in there for them to. It's almost like an exclusivity, right? I was like, oh my God, he's showing up or she's showing up to my door. Now I just gotta sign the paper, and then it's almost like I get to work with this person, right? And I know that they're gonna give me the best deal, or they're gonna be able to accomplish the goal that we want to do, right? So that's the creation that you want to get into your content creation as well.
And it's not just for real estate.
Bro, that's funny you say that. I actually went on a date yesterday from all of this content creation. I think we found a fiance. They saw their video and they're like, oh my God, this guy's good looking.
Right. So even for us, we try to build our personal brand in a way where we create authority. Even right here, right now, we're on kind of speaking in front of you guys now. Even my wife always gets surprised, like, you're speaking now? Like, I know, I have no idea how I got here. But even Buzz Conference reached out, they wanted to do an article about me. It's like, I wouldn't get to this point without the videos I create on social media, right? Your life will change as soon as you start putting out your content and yourself out there.
Yeah. So to end it off, videos lead to opportunities. Thank you. You have any questions? Questions so far? No?
So for all those social media platform we have today, there's tons. Okay, so do you have any suggestion which one that maybe we should like start first or maybe focus on?
Focus on what you can sustain. The easiest is Instagram because everybody is on Instagram. It's not gonna go anywhere. Twitter, if you're there, that might go away soon. We don't know. What Elon's doing, with the X and
They're gonna
stuff.
have a fight.
Yeah, so focus. Don't
Become a
Don't-
blind, bring stuff.
Exactly, don't distribute your attention to a lot too many because it will overwhelm you. Focus on one thing and be really, really good at it.
Yeah.
Right? To be able to break through a wall, you don't hit different part of the wall. You break one spot over and over until it cracks. So Instagram is the thing for real estate agents.
Yeah.
Because it looks nice, the feed looks amazing. It's like a website. There's pin post, there's bio, there's profile picture. As soon as they get in on your Instagram, oh my God, it's got a nice, beautiful website.
It's a bit more, Instagram is more on the professional side because also it helps, there's a lot of buttons there that will help you generate leads, right? So either you're able to put a link where it goes to a booking for a discovery call, right? So all those things like your website, you can put in there. It's actually like Instagram for business accounts or creators account. It's meant for people to actually contact you and provide the services that you have, right? So that's one thing. TikTok is more like for entertainment, right? A lot of people like mindlessly scroll through the videos, and if something that doesn't attract them or the first few words, like I'm not gonna.
It's almost
Look at
they're
it,
not
right?
there to do some business, right?
Yeah.
On Instagram, it's searchable. If they're looking for a real estate agent, they'll type in real estate agent. You should be the first one to come up.
Yeah.
Right? People want to do transaction on Instagram. It's
Do you
easy.
find that, sorry, I was gonna say, do you find people are actually interacting more in a sense on IG versus platforms?
Oh, 100%.
100%.
And it goes two ways. You know, let's say you watch a story. You see them in the gym, and hey man, I go to the same gym. You interact with them, now they interact with you.
Yeah.
A lot of people are always looking for, hey, I don't get enough engagement on my post. Well, are you engaging to their post?
Yeah. So one of the things that people ask us this, like if for some people who already follow us, we always put a slider on our stories where it's like an emoji that you can slide, right? It's like a fire or like those, yeah, or high five or a clap, right? And people ask like, why do you put those? We're like, it's an engagement, a type of engagement. So whoever slides it, we know that people are engaging. And some people, if you don't slide to 100% and they just don't know how to use it, it becomes a conversation starter because they're like, hey, I didn't mean to not slide it to 100% or dislike it. I'm sorry, right? I think Michael did it one time and it's a conversation starter. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Like now they're gonna engage to you, right? It's a direct engagement without me really doing anything, right? They just put it out there and now I can have a conversation. How's it going? How's your day? Put it on a personal level. Take that 2 seconds of your time to actually do it, right? So that's the tips and tricks.
And here's the secret. You can automate it. Meaning you can hire someone to do it for you.
Yeah.
When you're sleeping, somebody's engaging for using your profile. There's a lot of people in abroad that you can hire for cheap, where they can do the engagement, the liking, the commenting for you. Right? Those are part of the services that we do offer as well.
Yeah.
Because even for us, we're not always the one commenting on a lot of agents' posts.
Say that.
We do have a team members that does it for us. So even if I'm sleeping, my Instagram is still working for me. Right? Even if I'm here right now, I have somebody liking mindlessly on like or is searching agents to like it. Hey, notice me.
Yeah.
Leaving a comment on their listing post. Right?
Great
and then now we
post.
start the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So those things, like we have a lot of
So another question is like, so that means like you suggest us to open up like a business account rather than a personal account. Is there any differences like in terms of IG?
I think it's up to you again, right? So when we talk to our clients, it's like you're in control of what you want to post, right? Some people integrate their business to their personal, and some people have it separately, right? The great thing about Instagram is you can put your professional account into your bio so people can click on it and vice versa, right? So for me, my personal page, I have my Instagram page, my business page, and my wedding film page, right? So people can still click on it. And it's still tied into it. Sometimes I do collaborative posts to intertwine both because I still want to show that on my personal side. So again, you're in control, right?
Yeah, focus on more on the personal side, more than the business side of your Instagram, because the personal side, that's where they want to do business with. You know, the business side, that's where you post, you know, some things that you've sold, accomplishments that you had, anything about the business. But then you documenting your day should be on the personal branding side, because that's really where the transaction happens, right? Another thing that we have is we have what we call so we have those content discounts that we do. Okay.
I wear the same shirt every single time.
Yeah.
So this is what we call the Velo Content Bootcamp, right? So this is more of like, if you're interested in it, you can talk to us and join the bootcamp where we go dive into it, deep into the content creation itself. A lot of these agents, so this is one of our clients that actually went viral on TikTok and Instagram based on his story, right? And now they're very consistent with what they do on social media, and they utilize that to gain more business, right? So those are the things that we do. We talk about it. We teach you how to use your phone. We actually teach you how to edit as well using your phone. The most simplest way for you to be able to do it and do it in like 30 seconds to a minute, right? Based on documenting versus creating, right? Something that you can just put out there. So
Which is a cost here.
I like that question.
Why'd you ask?
$1 a minute. $1 a minute. And it's a 6-hour session.
All right, so it is a 5-hour in-class group bootcamp session in their studio. So we do have a classroom and national studio. We do teach more like a theory and how to optimize your social media pages. And then it's just a very intimate setting where there's only 5 maximum per class.
Yeah. So a lot of people ask us, they're like, why don't you, open it to a whole brokerage, right? Or have 20, 25, or 30. But what we find is like, even today, right? So some of you may absorb what we've already taught you, but social media is complex as it is, right? So if we're standing in front of 10 people, 15 people, we're not going to give you that full attention or that one-on-one where we can like actually show you step by step on how to do it, right? So if we do it that way, we're going to stay there for like 12 hours, right? So this is what we found. This is the feedback that we've gotten from our clients, and this is what helped them, right? Get started, basically, because now we're going to teach you the tools on how to create your own videos, the lighting equipment. Some of you guys already have it here. I've seen it in the office, right? So you guys have an idea. But again, just being able to do it and utilize it, and at the end of the day, be efficient on how you use it, right? So that's the goal for this camp. So
How much do you think it is?
yeah. How much? Sorry? Anybody guess how much it is? 300? Prepared to.
So no. So here's the thing, right? So basically, what it also comes with is it comes with a 2 fully shot and edited video for you, right?
Professionally.
Because those are professional,
Right.
In your studio, right? So it's not just the theory and the knowledge stuff that you're gonna learn. It's also you're also gonna get 2 pieces of content that are high quality, captioned, color graded, and everything like that. That's included in the package that we have. Okay. So when we were coming up with pricing, I was like, okay, what can an agent afford?
Yeah. So basically, when we're going down to the numbers, we're like, how much do we charge per piece of the content, right? So let's calculate it, and then our time and in the studio and all that stuff, right? So we came up with this number.
Okay, so
You were pretty good. So you're gonna sign up?
because the thing, if you think about it, 5-hour in-class knowledge and basically theory, and then you come back on a different day to do the 2 videos that we're gonna give you, right? You can bring an outfit change or whatever. You can get your hair done and makeup and stuff like that, because when we tried it before during the 5-hour class, people felt like
It's too much. They're already tired.
Too much for them.
It's half a day, right? So
But the idea was to do theory in the morning, and in the afternoon we'll do a shoot. But we're like, let's just let them come back so they can freshen up and they look good on, in the camera when we shoot those videos.
But then again, we got into this business of helping people and making sure that we find a solution to their problem, right? So if you're a real estate agent that's just starting out, sometimes you don't even get 1 deal out of the year, right? And you're struggling to get started. So we're not really solving that problem. So Alvin and I looked at each other and we thought of another number based on being able to help in some ways that, that's valuable to them, right? As much as possible. So we came up with this number. Right? So.
And that's not just 2 videos, it's 5. Okay, to make it worth your drive, we're gonna do like, okay, let's do 5 reels. In our studio, you can bring your outfit changes, we have a change room there. And including the 5-hour, intensive program that we have,
Yeah.
okay?
So basically the session, if you look at it this way, the actual training session is free, right? We would just want to give our time to be able to help people to utilize their phone or whatever they have to start getting content creation. And in turn, still utilize that professional video that you're gonna get to help your feed look professional, right?
The great news is, this is not the price we came up with.
Thanks to Michael and Steven for inviting us here, we decided to give you guys a brokerage discount. Okay, so for being here today and for inviting us and taking the time to get to know us as well, right? So we came up with this price,
Okay.
right? So exclusive. You want to pay 1,000? I'll give you a QR code for $1,000. That's no problem with me, right? So if you guys are interested, this is the price that you're gonna get. If you do scan the QR code, there is an option that says just for the training itself, for the theory without any reels, right? So if you guys just want to sit in and learn, that's still welcome as well. But if you want the 5 reels, right, and everything else that's in there, this is the price for it, $490.
Can we post this or is this
Exclusive,
Don't post.
You
right?
can share it to your.
We're gonna
friends,
share it
all
to
these
you,
days of brokerage, but-
Yeah, we're gonna share it to you guys so we can email you the link, right? For people who aren't here that are interested as well. If you guys want to share it. And a lot of people, what they do is, what we do sometimes if there's one-off in different brokerages that we go to, that sign up later on, we partner them up with different brokerages. That way, it's kind of like a networking as well. You kind of get to know them in a way that you hear their story. Some people they're really good in social media already, but they didn't realize that there's things that they still need to do, right, to optimize.
Yeah, we've had broker of records in their classes, we've had restaurant owners.
Yeah.
We've had mortgage agents.
We've had
right?
social media managers in our
Social
class
media
too,
managers.
right?
right?
So
So-
it's like, wow, that's very interesting, right? So yeah, and then if some people do want to be in a group, right? They say they're from the same brokerage and you guys coordinate yourself, then we'll accommodate that as well. Like maximum of 5 people, right? Like
Where is it? Where is it?
Oakville.
It's in Oakville. Yeah,
Mhm.
so all the information should be on the link or the
Yep,
QR code.
it's here.
Yeah.
On the regular dates or the
Monday.
weekends?
Mondays.
Monday.
Monday, on
Yeah.
Monday.
So we want you guys to get fired up first day of the week.
So we book through the whole year then. 5 person per sessions, we'll book all through.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Okay.
just add more classes.
All right. So again, thank you guys for having us today. I hope you guys learned something and get documenting. Get started documenting, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rod.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you, Ralph.